Yeah,
What's
there
up?
he
How are
is.
you?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well here. Let me move this so it doesn't look like I'm just like a floating head. There's a surfboard. So what I'll do is I'll do a little brief intro of who you are,
Yeah,
and if I miss anything, by all means, like jump on in.
done.
And I'm excited to interview you today.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so a little bit about Jeff. So Jeff Trotter is a founder and principal designer at Jeff Trotter Design, full service design firm specializing both residential, commercial, interior design, renovation, new construction. Jeff's project range from larger scale restaurants, hospitality and design, restoration of historic residential properties, and entertainment venues. After attending UCLA, he began his career working in set design and direction of major motion pictures. And which is actually my favorite, Jeff's new endeavor, the new line of custom design surfboards that serve as a functional art, featured on El Decor and also the JTD online shop. So first and foremost, thanks for being on. It's
Of
a
course.
pleasure. It's a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me. I
After
appreciate
all
it.
these years, right? It's
I
like
know. I know.
this is I know it's so funny.
So
We'll get
true.
into that later, but let's talk about these surfboards because I've seen
Yeah.
them on Instagram. I've seen them everywhere.
No,
They've
thank
become
you.
like such a big thing. And so there's the two lines, the stone surf and then the skin surf. So
Yes.
first, what inspired you? What was the process? And then just yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I grew up surfing. I'm from Los Angeles, born and raised. Grew up surfing, so it's always been a part of my life. And when it came to design, I think the element of using something like a surfboard is so unexpected in the space, but they are they can be pretty pedestrian. So I thought, hey, like what's a really cool way to utilize this instantly chic, cool piece of possible art in a space in an unexpected way. So I started tooling around with my manufacturers and created the first line, the JTD Stone Surf line, all inspired by tile and marble, things like that. And then the second line was the JTD Skin Surf line. It's all inspired by crocodile prints. And it's a cool way to add something unexpected into space. It's a real focal point. And it's something I'm passionate about. It kind of sums up my overall design style. It's a little bit of that coastal chic, transitional, but again, unexpected styles, patterns. So it's been a really fun endeavor.
Yeah, no, they're very pretty, very artistic, and I'll have to say like they're sexy. They're
Oh,
sexy to have in your
thanks.
living
Thank you.
room, in your home office.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And what's the process like? So is it something that okay, it became an idea, you put it on paper, and then now do you have a team that you go back and forth with on colors, on design? So how's that whole process of getting these from beginning to end?
So it was really serendipitous. I met my manufacturer, Tyler from Wax Surf Co. several years ago. And I just had this idea, and we kind of brainstormed back and forth for my first collection. And I'm super hands-on. I'm a control freak. So I handle every element of the design process, graphics, colorways, shapes of the boards I discussed with him. So it's really my little baby that I put out there. And I'm actually conceptualizing my third collection right now, using this quarantine time to the best of my ability to be creative. So, yeah, it's just a labor of love that I thought would be something unique, really cool and interesting to use in spaces. I use them in all my projects, and it kind of just exploded. I sell them all over the world, so it's unexpected, but super grateful for it, and a great way to kind of express my design style in a different and unique way.
Yeah, amazing. And for all of you that are watching, like I'm going to put a link on my Instagram story so that way you guys can go in directly and buy these from Jeff because they are incredible. Like they are really beautiful. And the ones that are stone, is it actual stone or what are
No,
they actually made out of?
so they're all high performance boards. So they're all made out of foam. So you can actually go out and use them. Some people buy them to surf on. Some people buy them just as art. So it's really important to me that they're actually functional, high performance boards. So they're not just something taking up space.
Right.
If you live in a beach house in the Hamptons, if you live in, Miami, I mean, anywhere, I've sold them to the most unexpected places. But you can use them, or they're just beautiful art pieces to hang above your mantle or above a sofa or in the corner of a room, just to add a little bit of something different that's unexpected, makes a great conversation piece. So yeah.
Have you ever been like either online or just briefing through a magazine and there's like a celebrity and you're like, oh wait, my board is in their house. Has that happened to you yet? I'm
There
sure
have
it
been,
has.
there have been a few unexpected times that I'm like, wait, that's mine. And it's always a little surreal. I mean, I've had the collection for, let's see, both collections for almost 3 years now.
Uh-huh.
And they just, I mean, they keep selling. I mean, the most random places too, the places that you'd never expect. I'll get calls from, like Russia or Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, oh, hey, sounds good. It works for me. But yeah, it's very flattering. I feel super fortunate that people are interested in them and have responded so well. And then they were in Elle Decor too. They picked them up as their what's hot item.
Yeah.
And that was like a super surreal moment for me, but incredibly gratifying. So
That's amazing. And so
yeah.
you said something that really, I think as the viewers and myself, that you use this time that we're in quarantine to get creative to like launch your next line. Cause I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, like, how are you doing with, coping with being at home? And it's like, what are you spending your time on?
So I'm naturally pretty introverted. I love spending time alone. I'm like, I'm always at home creating or kind of in that headspace. So this has been a little different because obviously business wise, everything's pushed pause. There's not a ton I can do for my clients. A lot of my vendors, both locally and overseas, are closed or, not in operation. But I've been using this time to work with like my architects, contractors on projects that we haven't broken ground on quite yet. So we're still in the design phase. So that's been great. And I've also been using this time to really just get creative. There's always, when you're alone and you're a creative person, I feel like it's a great time to really just let your creative juices flow. There's no excuse. Time is kind of irrelevant right now. We're all sitting home and trying to make the best of it. So, between binge watching Netflix stuff, I'm just, dreaming up kitchens and exteriors of homes, and I'm doing some landscape architecture stuff for some projects and designing another line of surfboard. So trying to make the best of it,
That's amazing. See, that's the way to go. I mean, you can either stay at home and just be, there's the silver linings to everything. You can either use the time to be creative, expand on what you already know, read more, get more tools for your toolkit. So that way, whenever we're out of this quarantine, like you can hit the ground running.
Totally. Exactly.
I love that. And so let's talk. I was going to ask you about that, about design. Like, can you still ship projects? Like, obviously you said like you can't, like a lot of your suppliers are completely closed.
Right. Yeah. That's a difficult part because I have like custom pieces that are ready to be delivered to clients. I have textiles that are ready to be made into different pieces, but I mean, really everything's on hold. Non-essential businesses, especially in California, are closed right now in Los Angeles County. So all my SoCal projects are really put on hold. I have projects in different states, and it kind of depends on how they're handling this. So projects under construction, I'm FaceTiming a lot, Zooming with my contractors and different vendors that are on site and able to work on those projects. So it's really just, look, like putting the safety of my clients, my employees first is the most important factor. So we're gonna get through this together. It's just a matter of trying to make the best of it, doing as much work as we can, creating as much as we can. But for the most part, everybody is affected, so everyone understands and has been super flexible. So that's nice, at least.
Right. And you said something that I like that you said. It was about, you're still working virtually, right? You said you're still FaceTiming with your contractors or architects. Like, moving forward, do you think that's something that in your business it's just going to become more virtual, or is it always going to be like an in-person type of meeting with clients or on job sites? Like, how is that going to change, or do you think it's going to stay the same after we slowly get out of quarantine?
I think it's a little bit of both, because technology is so fantastic with connecting all of us wherever we are in the world. It's great to be able to utilize that a little bit more to our advantage. Now that we're relegated to just using that basically right now.
Right.
I'm a big proponent to in-person design meetings with clients as much as possible. I love being physically in a space to see how different pieces are fitting and seeing, the real-time response from clients, discussing things. That's a big part of what I feed off of. But it's really just a mix of both. It's making the best of this and using digital when we can, technology when we can. But, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to being able to be back on site, do more site walks and meet with clients and have those like brainstorming sessions with my employees in person and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's a healthy mix of both, right?
Right. That personal touch, right? It's like, I think we all miss that. Like, we all just want to get hugged right now, I feel.
Right.
Like, everyone just wants a big hug.
So true. So true. Tell me about it.
And so with design, now that a lot of people are spending more time at home, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think people are realizing, A, I love my home. B, I don't love my home. Or C, I'm probably getting a divorce, right? Like,
Right.
do you think that people are going to expand more on, you know, spending more money to make their homes be more comfortable, on maybe more home offices? You know, I feel like with gyms, maybe installing more home gyms. Like, do you think the functionality of the home is going to change moving forward, now that we're actually spending so much more time at home? How do you think that's going to go in the next couple of months and years?
I think people now being relegated to their homes are realizing, or I hope they're realizing, how important having an environment that represents your personality, that feels like a safe space, that feels like a space that brings you joy, comfort, relaxation, whatever it is. I hope people are realizing how important that is. And, you know, your home should rise up to greet you. It should be a reflection of your personality. It should be, you should be surrounded by things that you love, that are meaningful, that make you feel a certain type of way. And especially when we're talking about like Zoom calls, home offices, I've been fascinated seeing, you know, on TV, different newscasters or different TV shows that are now reporting from their homes or doing their shows from their homes, what their Zoom backgrounds are, or like what their backdrops are, and how I feel like that says a lot about you. That says a lot about your business. That says a lot about how you know, how you value your space. So I think that people are going to become more concerned with how they want to decorate their spaces or their office space, whatever that is, to make sure that it's form meeting function. You know, so it's spaces that they can utilize and are productive in, but are also beautiful spaces that represent what they do for a living or whatever that is. So I think that that's going to be something that's going to be on top of mind of most people moving forward, because I think, you know, we will be working virtually on some level for a while. And also just in their homes in general, like you said, home gyms, absolutely. But having living spaces, bedrooms, living rooms, whether you live in like a studio apartment somewhere or a 25,000 square foot home, you want these homes to feel like they represent you, they make you happy, you feel safe in them. So I think this quarantine time in some way is forcing people obviously indoors and to maybe think about what they choose to surround themselves with, you know?
Yeah, so important, because I feel like it even affects your mood, right?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
everything around you. Like, personally, I feel, you know, just being at home, like you said, your space is a reflection of who you are, and spending so much time at home, like I've realized, wow, like I do love my place. Like, it's very functional. What wasn't functional, I actually made it functional. Now I'm like, wow, like this is, you know, I have a sense of serenity at home now, and it feels great.
And it's so interesting. We're always so consumed with white noise. You know, you're always doing something, going somewhere, busy with something. So sometimes your home is lacking the attention that it deserves to create that kind of like that space that's a refuge. And now when it's all we have, you're looking around like, oh, you know, I want to change the art on my walls, or I want to have a more comfortable sofa, or a more, you know, comfortable workspace that makes me feel productive when, you know, I'm stuck here 24 hours a day. So yeah, it's hopefully an eye-opening experience for people now. And, you know, I think all of us are trying to make the best of what we got, and hopefully make the best of your home as while we're at it too, right?
Absolutely. And so you're also, like, your division, you do residential, and you also do commercial.
Yes.
So what do you see in the future, without, obviously you're not a commercial broker, but you know, you've worked on restaurants before, you worked at hotels before, you know, live, in like live arenas type of spaces.
Yeah.
What do you think the future of that's going to be like? Like, do you think that maybe like those projects are going to maybe put the brakes on what's going on for a little bit? You know, the hotel industry, okay, we're not going to do a big renovation or we're not gonna, put in more space here in this new stadium. Like, what do you think is going to happen in those type of spaces on the design side?
It's hard to tell. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is going to do to us when it comes to like a dining experience, hotel experience, office experience. It's kind of TBD at this moment. I feel like depending on what this virus, how it mutates, and how many different waves we come in contact with, I think it's definitely going to change for the time being how people interact. As soon as these states continue to start opening up and cities continue to start opening up, as long as it's safe. I know there are going to be social distancing practices, so you have to be 6 feet away from each other, minimizing tables and different floor plans for restaurants, things like that. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of design limitations we're going to have to start working around or working with to keep these places, keep the integrity of these spaces, but also keep them functional and safe for all the patrons that visit them. So it's I'm probably just as curious as you are to see what that's going to mean for all of us in the coming months.
Yeah. And speaking of restaurants, do you cook? Have you been ordering in? Like, what's on the menu tonight? Like,
so
how does that work for you?
I'm not a great cook. I have discovered though in quarantine that I can make a few things that are decently edible, and I'm pretty proud about that. It's a lot of just like stocking up the grocery store. I get meal delivery service, so luckily those are still working. Yeah, it's just, again, I told you I'm pretty introverted, so I like a lot of home time, and not that much has changed in my life. So I can't say I'm like completely affected by it.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, a little cooking. It's probably more drinking than usual. I mean, there are like a lot of Zoom happy hours, Zoom birthdays, stuff like that. So I know that's changed for sure. But other than that, it's just kind of like my normal sitch.
Your normal sitch. Yeah, and it's definitely like I've been seeing on the gram, on Facebook, social, like there's a lot of alcohol going around, like a lot of drinking, like heavily. I think when I went to the grocery store this weekend, I walked through the alcohol aisle, and there was some empty patches, where it's usually filled in. It was a little empty, and I was like, wow, we are in a pandemic. Like, things are rough.
We've gone from hoarding toilet paper to liquor, which I feel like, is a natural progression on some level. So I don't know. It's like, I feel like all rules are off. Like, time doesn't mean anything anymore. Half the time people are forgetting what day of the week it is. I think people are just trying to cope with the new normal, whatever that means. And I feel like incorporating structure, like back to the design part of it, getting up and making your bed every morning, or like tidying up your space, your workspace, whether it's like, I know as cheesy as it sounds, but like fluffing the pillows on your sofa, or vacuuming and just tidying up. It makes, for me at least, it makes such a big difference, because you'll walk into your bedroom, a couple hours later for a change of scenery, and it just feels more peaceful, more tranquil, because it's tidied up, it's orderly. And so it gives me at least like a little bit more sense of control in this kind of world of chaos that we're trying to live through. Mm-hmm. So yeah, little things like that I think are helping me as well, and maybe you're helping other people out there too. And drinking.
Drinking, yeah. Yeah, that's, I think that on top of the list when people go and Google, I think on the top searches is airfare.
Right.
And then where you can get tested for COVID, and then where can I buy alcohol?
Yeah.
Like online. So those are the top 3 searches.
So good. It makes sense. I can't hate it.
It makes sense. Yeah. So I know you spend a lot of time at home, but is there one thing that you want to do right now that you just can't do?
I mean, I feel like when you're not able to do things, you want to do everything so much more so. So I guess, besides the obvious of like grabbing dinner and drinks with friends, or going back to the gym, which I'm kind of dying to do. My family's all in Southern California, so I spend a lot of time with like my 2 little nephews. One's almost 6 and one's 3. And I've been trying to pick up my 5-year-old nephew from school about once a week, as long as I can kind of facilitate it in my schedule. Mm-hmm. And I miss doing that. I miss like just a little bit of time to like take him out, go get ice cream and hang out with him, and see my other nephew. So hopefully when we're out of quarantine, it's going to be just a little bit of family time, friend time, gym time, and just back to like the normal working process, I guess. So yeah.
And so if a client wanted to work with you, obviously there's your site that they can go, and I'm going to post it on my stories as well. what is that? What are the services you provide? Let's say they just bought a new home, let's
Right.
say a month from now, and they wanted to hire you. What do you take? Like, what's your role? Do you take care of, like, let's say they want to do major renovations, the contractors, the architects, the
Right.
design pieces? Like, what is it that you can fulfill as an service for that client?
So for me, I love to be the first hire in a project, and I very often am. So whether it's like a gut renovation on a home, a ground up new build, decorating a home, I love it when a client finds me somehow first, because I have a lot of like fantastic architects, contractors, vendors that I like to bring onto a team that I work with regularly. I often sometimes will have a client that already has an architect in mind that they've started working with, or a contractor. So I'm always open to that as well. But yeah, I mean, my usual preference is to be brought in. I'm able to work with a client right off the bat, figure out all their needs, desires, figure out what they want from a space, what their goals are to achieve, and then I can bring in kind of like the dream team to make that happen according to what their aesthetic is, and what their needs are. So I am gonna pretty full service from start to finish.
From start to finish.
Yeah, it's what I love. I love to get my finger like on everything. So
Yeah.
even landscape design, I'm very involved in determining how I like to, design that, and what kind of finishes I use, plant material, kind of everything.
And what got you like inspired to get into design? Like, what was this something that you thought of since you were a kid, or was this something that college, or was it,
Yeah.
when you were in set design for motion pictures? Like, where did that come from?
So I was that kid that was decorating, like redecorating, rearranging furniture in my bedroom when I was way too young. My parents were always like, "What is this kid doing?" And it was always a passion of mine. It was something that I found I could lose total track of time doing because I was so passionate about it. It kind of flowed through me. It was something that really inspired me. And I was, in college decorating my side of the dorm room. And all of a sudden my dorm mate was like, "Oh, dude, I really like the stuff that you did on, like, would you mind helping me out with my side too?" And then it was all of a sudden like my other buddy's dorm room. And then we all got apartments, and it was like, "Hey, Jeff, will you help me decorate my apartment?" So it kind of snowballed from there. And I opened my firm about 6 years ago, and have been really fortunate, never looked back, and have been pretty successful. So it's something that I'm innately passionate about. It's something that brings me a lot of joy. I love working with clients and bringing spaces to life and conceptualizing design, and seeing it through the entire process, and just bringing results to people that are unable to achieve it on their own. And they may have a vision for a space but don't know how to achieve it. They may think they want one thing when in reality they probably need another. So I just find it so gratifying to be able to do what I love, create art, and then create spaces, whether it's commercial or residential, that people are going to really make memories in and enjoy. So yeah, it's just about, I found my passion early. I was really fortunate, and I've kind of followed that dream through. So
I love that. You're
yeah.
so positive. I love it.
Oh,
Like,
thanks.
you're making, like, I just keep smiling because I was like, wow, like, I love this interview. Like, I hope everyone's getting the same thing that I'm getting. It's just your
Oh,
positivity. Like, this is incredible. So you're creating the new surfboards. You're being super creative at home.
yep.
Is there a sneak peek or anything you can tell us about what the new boards are going to look like, or?
I don't know. You're gonna have to. I'm one of those people I'm big on not talking too much about a project before I put it out there. So it's just I've had a really great amount of time to let like all those creative juices flow, come up with things that I've kind of been toying with in the past couple months, but just haven't had time to dedicate to, really thinking about. So I would just, stay tuned. JeffTrotterDesign.com, and my Instagram, obviously, at Jeff Trotter Design, and I might post some sneak peeks of stuff, and we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, then we'll keep, and with your Instagram, because your Instagram's impeccable. Like, your
Thank you.
Instagram, just like your back. Is that where are you at? Is that your office? Is that
Yes.
your?
Yeah.
Stunning. Do you do all of that yourself? Do you hire someone? Like, everything is just so
Thank you.
meticulously, like, you know,
Yeah.
Restoration Hardware has nothing on you. Like, do you do this all yourself? Like, who does this for
That's
you?
very kind. No, yeah, it is all me. It's me. I'm as an artist and interior designer, I'm incredibly visual. So anything visual is an inspiration for me. I really like curating my page. I really like, whether it's you know, my work, my life, or things that inspire me, I like just sharing that with other people. So my Instagram is a great window into my overall design aesthetic, my brain, things that inspire me, things that I find beautiful or fascinating, and I use it as kind of an open forum to put all that out there for other people to consume. And you know, hopefully people like it. You know, if you don't, is what it is. It's my aesthetic. So it's fun. I find it incredibly liberating to let myself get inspired, put things out there for people to see and consume. And it's great for marketing business wise. A lot of people find me all around the world on it, and it's been fantastic so far. So it's just kind of like my little creative output, you know?
Yeah. And is there anyone you're dying to work with? Like, if there was one person you can work with and design their entire home or a commercial space, is there like that one person that you think about?
There's so many different aspects. I mean, like, I love all aspects of design. So residential, I mean, I've been fortunate enough in the past few years to work with some fantastic clients that have really allowed me to do almost whatever I want with their spaces. So that's been really, really gratifying. Commercially, I love working on like bars, restaurants. I'm wrapping up work on a doctor's office, plastic surgeon's office in Marina del Rey, which is beautiful. Hotels. I mean, there's really no cap on the things that I want to do and who I would like to work with. Yeah, I'm open to kind of anything and everything. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And so last question, is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to talk about? Anything you want to tell the viewers? Like I said, I'm going to post on my wall, guys, like on my stories, I'm going to post his site and also where you can buy these amazing boards for surfing or for decor, but you can actually surf on them.
You know, not really question. I just feel like if anybody creative is out there watching, or really anybody, I feel like something to do during this time of quiet is to find a creative outlet for yourself. So whether it's writing, painting, playing music, whatever that is, I feel like being creative as a person on whatever level that means for you is so important right now. And I feel like, yeah, if you can find the time to kind of find things that inspire you, that bring you joy, try to do that as much as possible right now, because it takes a little bit of the anxiety off of our shoulders living through this crazy time. But you know, there's never enough art out there. Take this time to create, express yourself in different ways, and that's what I've been doing. That's what a lot of my, you know, artistic friends have been doing. So that's my little bit of advice to anybody out there that maybe is struggling.
Amazing message. Well, Jeff, thanks again for your time. Thanks for being on my little show. Okay, let's chat.
Oh, please, I appreciate it. I've known you for years. It's a pleasure to be able to do this. Yeah.
So if you guys want to hire Jeff, I'm going to post his site. I'm going to post his handle so you can follow him as well. Amazing stuff. Reach out to him. And thanks again, Jeff. Thank you so much. You made me smile today. I have a smile on my face. You're such an amazing light. So thank you.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy.
All right, Jeff. All right. See you soon.
All right. See you later.
All right, bye.